The proliferation of ethnic conflict in Eastern Europe that came with the end of communism sparked a lot of discussion of whether this was the emergence of or result of ancient ethnic hatreds. The lack of a correlation between diversity and ethnic war means that the answer to this generally is no, but ethno-nationalism did play an important role in the wars that occurred in Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union in the 1990s. In this video, I will talk about the relationship between democratization and ethnic mobilization that contributed to these conflicts. The theory I'm describing here is most closely associated with political scientists Ed Mansfield and Jack Snyder, and their work on democratization and war. The idea is that countries undergoing a democratic transition are more likely to go to war than either stable democracies or stable dictatorships. These types of states, those with incomplete democratic transitions, are more likely to go to war because they have weak political institutions, most particularly weak political parties and media. Politicians participating in free and fair elections for the first time need to convince voters to choose them, but political positions and policies at this time are often really unstable. Political parties need time and experience to build effective organizations to turn out voters and develop a coherent ideology. In addition, voters themselves might not have fixed political views on which to base a vote. In this environment, politicians seeking mass support for the first time often turn to identity politics to motivate voters. They use nationalism to build a base of support and legitimacy. When more than one politician is seeking support from the same ethnic group, competition for voters leads to ethnic outbidding. Politicians make increasingly extreme statements, eventually dehumanizing other ethnic groups, in order to demonstrate that they are the better nationalist. In addition, when media are owned by a small group of people, due to a state monopoly or otherwise, and press freedoms are really weak, the media can be used to enhance those messages, spreading falsified stories about ethnic grievance. Ethnic war in this case is based not on ancient ethnic hatreds, but recent ones, crafted at least in part by politicians cynically seeking to maximize their political support. So the cross-national statistical evidence for this theory is actually kind of weak. It's very dependent on how you define your terms, and it does kind of fall apart with alternate definitions of democracy, war, or different timeframes. So don't take this theory as gospel, but I do find it does a great job of explaining the dynamics of conflict after the fall of communism. Leaders sought new ways to build support and legitimize their rule. In some cases, the ideology of nationalism replaced the ideology of communism. When that ideology aligned with certain institutional and military conditions, it definitely contributed to war.